What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. First off, I just wanted to say, man, the channel been getting a lot of love as of recent, so thank you so much. The support, man, everything's just been amazing, so I appreciate it. In this series, we're basically just going over who I think the Giants should take at 11. Not really who I think, because regardless on what direction the Giants go, I'm fully confident in his coaching staff will get the job done and select the player that we believe that will be the most benefit for the Giants in going into the 2021 season. That being said, I already made a video of Micaiah Parsons. I made a video of Devontae Smith, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down the prospect coming out of Northwestern, offensive lineman Rashawn Slater. I'm not going to make a video on Chase, on Pitts, on Penicillin or anything like that, because I don't see in any scenario that any one of them falls to us at 11. I did even make a video giving a scenario if Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith both fall to us at 11. So that's available on the channel if you guys want to check that out as well. Before we get into it, I just want to say thank you again, and please comment, please subscribe if you like what you see or what you hear today. Awesome, getting into it, let's tackle Rashawn Slater. Alrighty, coming out of college, Rashawn Slater was a 3-round prospect. He had schools such as Wyoming, Illinois, and Kansas wanting him for his services in football, before he ends up signing with Northwestern. For the sake of this video, going forward, we're just going to call them NW. While at NW, as a true freshman, he ended up becoming one of the best in the country at his respective position, before moving over to left tackle in his junior year and opting out in his senior year due to COVID. He did opt out in his senior year due to COVID, but we had enough on the tape. We really had seen him go up against some of the elites in college, while also going up against Chase Young. And I could actually end this video right here and just say enough said, but let's just really go into him. Let's really take a deep dive. Maybe not as deep as I want to go in, but I just want to go in some of his pros, what I think he could bring to this Giants organization, and things like that. Now keep in mind, we have teams like the Bengals, we have teams like Carolina, so there is the chance that Rashawn Slater might not even get to us at 11. But per Football Focus and other sources, I know per Football Focus they ranked him as the 11th best player, and I know even another source ranked him inside the top 10. So there is a chance that he could not be there at 11, but if there is any way that he is there at 11, I think he'll be a solid fit for the New York Giants organization. Whether we put him inside, whether we put him outside, wherever the coaching staff and Dave Gettleman believes, not really Dave Gettleman, wherever the coaching staff believes he should go, I think that they'll do a pretty good job about it. Now getting into some of his pros, this guy has high IQ. He explodes off the line. He uses his athleticism to the best of his abilities. You know what I'm saying? He uses his abilities. He uses his techniques. Like I mentioned earlier, that Chase Young video, you could go back and I might even just put it up. You know what? I'm not even gonna put a webcam. I'm just gonna put highlights and stuff like that, so you guys can watch him. As I talk to him. I would say what some of his biggest strengths is his foot, his quickness, his ability to explode, like I just mentioned, his aggressiveness, and he's reliable. He's the offensive lineman that we can put, in there with the guys that we took last year, and he'll just be a solid piece going forward. Yeah, help out the running game, that help out the passing game, that they'll set up so much bigger holes for Berkeley. It'll set up so much, time for our receivers to get open. Like if you take an offensive lineman at 11, I think that would be an awesome grab at 11. And I just think that building an offensive line and building through the trenches is the right thing to do. I mean, we took Andrew Thomas last year, but I just think Rashawn Slater and Andrew Thomas both up front will just be beneficial going forward in years to come. I had seen some people compare him to Joe Thomas, compare him to Michael Yada. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if I slaughtered his name, but if you guys don't know who Joe Thomas is, I mean, obviously everybody knows who Joe Thomas is. He was a 10-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro. Marshall Yada, he played for the Ravens. He was an 8-time Pro Bowler, 2 times All-Pro, 5-time second-team All-Pro. Like, these guys are elite. Joe Thomas, I would say first ballot Hall of Famer, type of careers, legendary type of careers. What Marshall Yada was able to do, he was on the offensive line when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? saying? So things like that is just when you create from the line, the big guys, the hog mollies, like Dave Gellerman would like to say, the guys up front, built in the trenches, build your team. When I play Madden, I know this is NFL, this is not, Madden has nothing to do with this, but what I'm trying to say is when I do Madden with my friends and we have a fantasy draft, I always try to get in the trenches, build the trenches, because it doesn't matter what quarterback you have back there. If your offensive line is solid, you know what I'm saying, your quarterback can produce, you know what I'm saying. You don't need Patrick Mahomes of the world to win in this league. You really do need a legit offensive line. Like, yes, you can get by with a not so legit offensive line if you do have a mobile quarterback, and I believe that Daniel Jones can be a mobile quarterback, and he's kind of like a hybrid quarterback. So in the sense of he can move, he can move his feet, so we don't need a perfect offensive line. This guy can scramble, but we don't need our quarterback scrambling to make his reads. We need him to see his reads clearly. We need him to trust with the guys up front. And if you get a guy like Rashawn Slater, that'll give him the ability to trust his offensive lineman. You know, some of the takes on Daniel Jones is he can't feel pressure coming at him, and I agree on to a certain point, but you have to give that guy a chance to develop as well. He never really had an offense. He had 3 different offensive coordinators in his first year, plus 2 he needs time to adjust. All these moving pieces at offensive line. I mean, like, he didn't really trust the guys up front. And I know this video is about Rashawn Slater, but the only reason why I'm bringing up Daniel Jones is that is the reason why we could be in a solid position if we take an offensive line, because at the end of the day, we need to create gaps for Saquon Barkley. We need to create openings for Saquon Barkley. We need to create time for Daniel Jones. That'll free up a lot of stuff. The offense will stay on the field longer, which brings the defense not so tired when they have to, if we can't move the ball on offense, and we got a Kenny Galladay, and we got all our other weapons on offense, but if we don't have the guys up front and we can't protect, then how are we ever gonna move the ball? And then the defense is just gonna get back on the field tired as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that if we don't get Rashawn Slater that it's the end of the world and we can't block and we're gonna be the shit of the division. No, I don't say that at all. There's a lot of offensive lines that we could take in a second, but this guy at 11 is a game changer. One more time, he's a game changer. A lot of people say his size, he might not be able to handle the speed from the inside, so teams might want to move him to tackle, get him out of that guard position. But wherever we see him fit, I believe that the coaching staff will, if we do draft him, we'll look at this offensive line and make the adjustments where it needs to be, and whatever 5 we march up there, whatever starting 5 we march up there on Sunday afternoons or Sunday mornings will be the best 5. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be anybody at any particular position, it's gonna be the best 5. You know what I'm saying? He's balanced. You see his base, like his ability to just not overcommit, just stay locked in. He rarely lunges, he rarely leans, like I'm saying, overcommitment. You know what I'm saying? He stays in his stance, he stays squares up, he stayed his knees are bent. He put Chase Young in check. Like, I keep on saying that because that just it's such an important fact to bring up, because he only had we can say okay, well, what happens if he goes against this? Well, at the end of the day, Chase Young is a fucking stud, and he held him in check. Not fucking said, you know what I'm saying? He's a complete prospect. He will actually complete this offensive line rebuild for Getterman, you know what I'm saying? And I just think the tape speaks for himself, man. It speaks volumes. Incredible footwork. I can just go over these notes I took over and over again. But every time I watch highlights on him, I go over people breaking down tape on him on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm just finding this guy, he's I'm just loving it more and more and more, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we can go Micaiah Parsons at 11 if he's there. We can go Waddle. We can go Devontae Smith if they're there. But my God, if fucking Rashawn Slater is there at 11, you fucking take him. You run to that fucking podium, or not even a podium. You call, or you do whatever you gotta fucking do to get his name into that fucking, into that whatever. Submit his name, you know. Have Roger Goodell come out and be like, Rashawn Slater, the New York Giants at pick 11, the New York Giants select Rashawn Slater. We'll all go nuts as a fan base. We would know that, you know, that it's solid, that it finally completes a nice rebuild of their offensive line, because, you know, at the end of the day, we took 3 offensive linemen last year. Maybe we'll go later, maybe we'll take Rashawn Slater, maybe we take another guard or another tackle, you know, later on in the draft to fully really commit and fully complete this offensive line. We take a receiver in the later rounds, you know what I'm saying? We still need an edge rusher and stuff, but at the end of the day, Rashawn Slater will help this team so much, man. The amount of games that we could probably, you know, be in, just the amount of games we'll be in just because we took Rashawn Slater. And I love the fact that we'll go Andrew Thomas, we'll go Rashawn Slater. And man, like, this guy been popping off on everybody's radar as of recently. He kind of just flown under the radar throughout his college career, and just recently this guy just been popping off, and he deserves to be drafted that high. And the more I look into this guy, the more I get excited about this guy. That's why I'm bringing you guys this video about this guy. You know, he's a great prospect. I would love for the Giants to take him at 11. You know, this has been making the case for Rashawn Slater, man. I think that's all I have to say about this guy. You guys fucking been amazing, man. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. I really appreciate it. And you guys and girls have an amazing rest of your day, man. Bless up.